Right at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati as the Reds play host to the Houston Astros. Pick up action in the bottom of the third inning. Todd Benzinger will come up and hit a single into right center field. Jose Rio will score, and the Reds are on top by a score of 1-0. But in the top of the fourth inning, the Astros score 4 times. First, Craig Biggio comes up and singles into right field. That will bring home Eric Yelding, and the game is tied up at 1 apiece. Then Jose Rio will uncork a wild pitch with the bases loaded. Steve Finley scores, and the Astros take a 2-1 lead. They would get 2 more on a groundout and a fielder's choice to lead it 4-1 at the end of 4 innings. In the bottom of the fifth, Todd Benzinger comes up and hits a double into the gap in left center field. Jose Rio and Bill Doran both score, and the Astros lead is cut to 4-3. Then the bottom of the seventh inning with the Astros up 5-4, Chris Sabo crushes a hanging curveball off of Darryl Kyle, a 2-run shot that goes into the screen in left field, as Todd Benzinger also scores, and the Reds take the lead for good at 6-5. They win it by that score. Ted Power with the win, his record 1-0. Darryl Kyle with the loss, his record drops to 0-1. Randy Myers, his first save. Action from the Sky Dome in Toronto as the Blue Jays and the Red Sox wrap up their 3-game set. Pick up action here in the top of the second inning. Tim Naring off of Todd Stottlemyre with a double down the left field line with the bases loaded. Jack Clark and Ellis Burks both score, and the Red Sox lead it by a score of 2-0. Later on in the inning, Stottlemyre once again runs into trouble when he walks Jody Reed with the bases loaded. Tom Bernansky scores, and the Red Sox are on top by a score of 3-0. Boston Red Sox starter Matt Young, making his first start for the Red Sox tonight, was cruising right along until the bottom of the fifth inning. In fact, he carried a no-hitter into the fifth inning, but then he would give up 2 runs here when Devon White doubles down the right field line. The ball will be misplayed by Tom Bernansky as he will receive an error. Manny Lee and Glenn Allen Hill both score, and the Red Sox lead is trimmed to 3-2. The Blue Jays take the lead for good in the bottom of the 8th inning when Pat Tabler will come up, and he will smack a 3-run home run to left center field. Roberto Alomar and Joe Carter both score on the play, and the Blue Jays win this one by a score of 5-3. Mike Timlin with the win, his record 1-0. Jeff Gray takes the loss, his record drops to 0-1. Tom Henke picks up his second save.
Expected treat on Wednesday night. We have highlights of the game in San Diego between the Padres and the San Francisco Giants. In the bottom of the first inning, Fred McGriff hit a 2-run home run to right field. That's his first home run of the season, and it brings Tony Gwynn in to score, making the score 2-0 Padres. Then in the top of the second inning, Kevin Mitchell hit his second home run of the season. This is a solo shot to left center field. That made the score 2-1. In the top of the fourth inning, Bruce Hurst brushes back Kevin Mitchell, and Mitchell is unhappy about it. He starts out toward the mound, but is restrained, and Hurst gives a little back to Mitchell. In that same at-bat, Hurst then hits Mitchell in the foot. Looked like it might have been a curveball, but Mitchell comes out anyway and knocks Hurst down, and a big pile-up ensues with all the dugouts and bullpens emptying. We'll take another look at the beginning of this fight. As Mitchell charges the mound, he was ejected from this game for this altercation. Now we move on to the bottom of the fourth inning with the score 2-1 San Diego still. Gerald Clark will hit his first home run of the season. This is a 2-run shot to left center field. Benito Santiago comes around to score, and that made the score 4-1 San Diego. In the top of the fifth, Steve Decker hit his first home run of the season, a solo shot to left center field that cut the lead down to 4-2. The Giants got one more back before the inning was over on Mike Benjamin's first home run of the year, also a solo shot that made it 4-3 San Diego, but that turned out to be the final score. The winning pitcher was Hurst, he's 1-0. The loser was Bud Black, he's 0-1. Craig Lefferts got his first save of the season.
Fourth inning, Scott Sanderson warming up his pitching hand. Alan Trammell off of second base on a walk and a stolen base. Scott Sanderson strikes out Mickey Tettleton to end the fourth inning, and Sanderson a no-hitter through 4. Move now to the top half of the sixth inning. 2 outs for the Yankees when Mel Hall lifts a high pop fly. Travis Flyman has it drift away from him and drops in. Kevin Moss goes over to third base. Matt Noakes would then walk to load up the bases, And then Jesse Barfield stepped to the plate and ripped a double to the left field corner. Kevin Moss and Mel Hall come in to score for the Yankees, and they lead this game 2-0 over Detroit. Bottom of the 6th inning, Scott Sanderson got some help from Don Mattingly. The Yankees' first baseman will field Milt Kyler's squibber, and then he'll backhand it to Sanderson. Sanderson just beats Kyler to the bag for the out, and Sanderson still has a no-hitter through 6. Bottom of the 7th inning, Mickey Tettleton at the plate for the Tigers, and he'll rip this Scott Sanderson pitch into the seats in right field, but it was foul. We'll take a look at Scott Sanderson's reaction to the long foul ball by Mickey Tettleton. He still has a no-hitter through 7. An error by Alvaro Espinoza in the bottom of the 8th put a runner on, but Sanderson throws the heat by John Shelby. He has a no-hitter through 8. The Yankees scored 2 times in the top half of the 9th inning, and it's 4-0 New York. Leadoff hitter Tony Phillips stepped into the plate against Sanderson, drives the ball to deep right field. Jesse Barfield got turned around. The ball bounces high off of the wall and safely away from Barfield. Phillips ends up with a double. That would be it for Sanderson as Stump Merrill took him out of the ball game. Greg Cadaret came in to finish up the job as the Yankees go on to win behind the one hitter of Scott Sanderson and Greg Cadaret, 4-0.
Tony hit that ball great. I'm telling you, on a normal game here, I don't know, but if you go ask Tony, I'm guessing that he's going to say he hit that ball good enough to be a home run. I guess the biggest emotion I had was, well, that sure was fun. You know, I'm sorry it's over, but that was fun.
Don Zimmer's Cubs look for their first victory of the season on Wednesday afternoon as they play host to the Cardinals in the season's 2nd game. George Bell in the bottom of the 3rd would pick up his first National League RBI as he hits the sac fly to center field. Milt Thompson the sliding catch, but Jerome Walton comes in to score, and the Cubs take a 1-0 lead. Then in the bottom of the 4th, another first would happen for rookie Gary Scott, as Scott would deliver his first Major League hit and RBI as he would drive in Sean Dunston, and the Cubs take a 2-0 lead on Gary Scott's first Major League hit. Greg Maddux on the mound would work 8 innings for Chicago, and he struck out 5 Cardinals, including pinch hitter Geronimo Pena in the top of the 6th, as Maddux would allow just 5 hits in this game. Joe Torre's club would be shut out by the Cubs, and Dave Smith would come in the 9th inning to notch his first save as a Cub. He gets Pedro Guerrero to ground into the 5-4-3 double play to end this one. The Cubs win 2-0. Maddux the winner.
In the 2nd inning of a scoreless game, Greg Jeffries against Tommy Green, already in relief with the Mets leading 1-0. Singles up the middle. Tommy Hurst scores to make it 2-0. The Mets have a 3-run inning, 3-0 Mets through 2. In the 4th inning, David Cohn to Von Hayes. Hayes a 3 RBI double. Dickie Thon, Lenny Dykstra, and Darren Dalton all scored to tie up the score at 3-all in the 4th. Bottom 4, the Mets and the Phillies are still tied at 3-all, but look at this wild pitch by Tommy Green, just a bit outside. Charlie O'Brien scores 4-3 New York. Wally Backman in the top of the 5th inning against David Cohn gets an RBI single. Dickie Thon scores, and we're knotted at 4. Now we're in the bottom of the 5th inning, and Charlie O'Brien strikes out, but Darren Dalton's throw with Howard Johnson trying to steal third goes into the outfield. Hojo scores to give New York a 5-4 lead. Darryl Ackerfeld's pitching to Greg Jeffries in the same inning. 2 RBI single as Mackie Sasser would cross the plate after Tommy Herr. 7-4 New York through 5. Top 7, and Darren Dalton at the plate with the bases loaded. Dalton, long fly ball to right field. Hubie Brooks tries for it, has it for a second, then loses it, and 3-run score on the play. Dickie Thon, Wally Backman, and Len Dykstra to tie up the game at 7-all. And this game heads into extra innings, and you got to be a real baseball head to stick around for the end of this one. 10th inning, and the Black Cat comes out onto the field, and it juts right into the Met dugout. And you knew it was over there for the Metropolitans, and indeed it was. Bases loaded, John Franco, 2, John Kruk, a double play ball, but the Mets don't get it. Kruk safe at first. Len Dykstra scores to make it 8-7 Philly. They win it that score.
1st inning, Brian Harper hit his first home run of the season. This is a shot that just barely makes it over the left center field wall. Chili Davis comes in to score on this play, and that made the score 2-0 Minnesota early on. Then in the top of the 3rd inning, Davis came up with 2 RBIs as he slices a single to left field. That scores Chuck Knobloch and Kirby Puckett. making the score 4-0 Minnesota. That was more than enough for Twins starter Alan Anderson, who pitched 7 1/3 innings, allowing 1 run on 2 hits. There he strikes out Vance Law in the bottom of the 3rd. As for the Ricky Henderson story, he got on base 1 time here in the bottom of the 4th. He walked and moved to second on a ground out, and then Anderson picked him off of second base. So the score remains Lou Brock 938 steals, Ricky Henderson 937. Rick Aguilera struck out Ernest Riles to end this game and pick up his first save of the season. The final was 4-1 Minnesota. The winner Anderson is 1-0. The loser Welch is 0-1. In Baltimore, Greg Hibbert and the Chicago White Sox are visiting the Baltimore Orioles. Hibbert pitched 8 innings in this game, allowing no runs and just 3 hits. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning, he strikes out Billy Ripken with the bases loaded. In the top of the 6th inning, Jose Mesa will strike out Dan Pasqua. There was no score in the game at this time, both pitchers pitching very well. But the top of the 6th inning was when Mesa ran out of luck. Scott Fletcher came up with his 3rd and 4th RBIs of the season. You see him here, he'll drive a double to the right center field gap. Sammy Sosa and Ozzie Guillen will come in to score on this as the ball is run down before reaching the wall. But the score was 2-0 Chicago. That turned out to be all the scoring in this game, both RBIs picked up by Scott Fletcher. Here in the bottom of the 9th inning, you'll see Bobby Thigpen picking up his first save of the season. He strikes out Sam Horn to end it. The final score is Chicago 2, Baltimore 0. The winner was Hibbert, he's 1-0. The loser Mesa is 0-1. Thigpen gets his first save.
And up and down for opening day at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, where the Atlanta Braves are hosting the Los Angeles Dodgers. Darryl Strawberry, playing in his first game as a Dodger, in the 3rd inning of play, will drop this Mike Heath fly ball for a 2-base error. At the time, Atlanta was trailing 1-0, but Heath would later score in the inning. As you see coming up, John Smoltz, the pitcher, would be at the plate against starting pitcher for Los Angeles, Tim Belcher. He delivers a single, and Heath scores on a close play at the plate. Strawberry's throw does not get him. That tied it at 1, and it was a 2-1 Atlanta lead after 3 because of a wild pitch. Then this is Juan Samuel with a 2 RBI single, driving in Mike Scioscia and Tim Belcher. Los Angeles regains the lead in the 5th inning, 3-2. Darryl Strawberry then follows with a double down the right field line. Brett Butler scores, and it was 4-2 LA after 4.5 innings. With the score 4-3 Los Angeles in the 8th inning, Jeff Parrott gives up an RBI single to Lenny Harris, and this plates Darryl Strawberry 5-3 LA. In the same 8th inning, Mike Scioscia with an RBI single plates Eddie Murray 6-3 Los Angeles over Atlanta in the 8th inning. Inning number 9, Dave Justice at the plate against John Candelaria in relief, and Justice goes downtown opposite field home run, a solo blast to make it 6-4 Los Angeles in front, but that would be the final score. LA wins.